course, we welcome in Chris Broussard to talk all things NBA. What's up, Chris?
Good to see you, man.
I'm a little bothered. I heard you say Eric Mangini was your favorite guest.
I go segment to segment,
You know
Chris.
this national
Chris,
TV.
I go segment to segment. Dude, segment to segment. We welcome in our favorite guest of all time, Chris Broussard. Chris.
Thank you.
Great to see
like
you.
It.
Absolute favorite guest ever in the history of humans. All-time greatest human. Hey, how are the Oklahoma City Thunder exactly like my 2-year-old? Both still trying to figure it all out, both learning about playing with others, and both love juice boxes.
So they're just like you as well.
I just had to wait long enough, and that comment would come. After a slow start, the Thunder beat the Raptors 124-107 last night. That's 6 wins in a row. Russell Westbrook leading the way, 30 points, 13 assists, 8 boards. Paul George scored 33, Melo at 18, and he seems to have figured out the key to the team's success. Take a listen to this.
I think the fact that that Russ is just playing, not trying to defer to anybody, to any one of us, just playing his game and letting us play off of him. I think he's much more effective by doing that rather than deferring to myself or Paul. We need that Russ out there, not the one who deferred to us. So let us figure it out.
Let's talk about the dealing with this Thunder team, Chris. If Russell Westbrook plays to his full potential, his MVP potential, how far can this team go?
I'm going to say Western Conference Finals. And I think they can put a scare into Golden State. They'd like to get the 3rd seed so you can avoid Golden State. But there's no guarantee Golden State won't be the 2nd seed.
Right.
Houston could be. So I definitely think they beat Minnesota if it's a 4-5 matchup. I think they can beat Houston and San Antonio. And I think they could push Golden State to 6 games, a tough 6 games. Here's why. Russell Westbrook's athleticism and explosiveness is so unique that it catches teams off guard. And it gets teams out of sorts. You saw it with Chris Paul in the Clippers series back in 2014. There were people in the Clippers organization that told me they felt like Russ's athleticism over the course of 6 games just finally overwhelmed him. And that's what Westbrook can do. So I think they can go deep. And I think we need to dispel this myth or notion that Westbrook's not a winner. If you look at his career, now he hasn't won a championship, obviously, but if you look at his career, he has, for the most part, I would say, come close or maximize his team's potential virtually every year. In 2010, or since they got to the finals in 2012, every year he's had his full complement of players. Kevin Durant or Serge Ibaka with him, they've gotten at least to the conference finals in the West. 2015, Durant's hurt almost the whole season, played 27 games. They win 45. Then last year, with no help, and I don't want to hear about Oladipo, how well he's playing now. He's a different player now. He didn't shoot as well last year.
And if he would shot that way, he wouldn't have got traded.
Yeah, exactly. They won 47 games in the West with little help. So Westbrook is a winner. He's not one of these guys that always goes out in the first round. So, yeah, I think they can go deep.
I think it's very empowering that when you have people that have been successful, and regardless of what you think about Carmelo Anthony, he's a national champ from Syracuse. He's been a phenomenal scorer. He's made a lot of money. And
gold medal winner?
Gold medal winner. Well, I mean, who was they going to lose to? But, I know you're Syracuse. You're trying to look after him. But
he's got about 8 gold medals, doesn't he?
But amongst his friends, like, he's a very successful person. Like, when you see Carmelo walk into a place or into an NBA locker room, NBA players don't look at him and say, you know something? He didn't reach his potential. He's a successful, not only a basketball player, but as a business person, he's successful.
First ballot Hall of Famer, don't you? I think.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, when that person, even though he's never been with this franchise, when he empowers the guy in Russell Westbrook, that is his franchise. He's the only one who stayed there. Everyone else left. Harden left. We know KD left. Harden stayed there. Russ knows it's his franchise. But for someone like Melo to say, you know something, man, that's the player that we need. Even though Russ knows it, it empowers him to be himself. so that he doesn't have to acquiesce to Paul. I want Paul to be comfortable. You know, he's in the last year of his contract. I need him to be happy. I need him to feel comfortable here because that's the only chance we have to win. Well, really, the chance to start with Russell being special. When we had Randy Moss, at some point I just had to tell him, young fella, listen, take over, man. Like, you're capable of doing that. It's not that he didn't know it, but me being the leader, when I was able to relinquish that, it gave him the freedom to be even better and even a better leader. And I think that's what we're seeing with OKC.
I'll talk about their ceiling in just a moment. I want to just stay on Russ for a second. I want the Thunder to be successful, and I want Russ to be successful because Russ, more than any player in the NBA, and maybe more than any athlete that comes right top of mind in sports today, plays the way we say we want our kids to play. Every single night, all out. People can say, analytically, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe it's not he doesn't care. He lives and dies with the winning. I understand does he hunt triple doubles if they're up double digits? Sure. Whatever. Who cares? Like, we've seen him in games that they already have won. He tries to make sure, let me grab this extra rebound. I don't care about that. He never does that at the expense of winning. When he takes those bad shots, it might be misguided. It is because he wants to win, and he thinks it is the best way to help his team win. When I hear people knock Russ for his style, it rubs me the wrong way because no player in the league, including my favorite, LeBron, plays nearly as hard every night as that guy does and as he has his entire career. You cannot watch a Russell Westbrook highlight and tell, is it the conference finals or is it game 37? Except unless you see the logo on the court, because he is going all out. So I want him to be successful. As far as how successful can the team be, I think the only team in the West that has a shot at beating a full-strength Warriors team is the Rockets. And it's a long shot, but they have a shot because of three-point shooting. The Thunder, though, are right there if something happens.
So you don't think the Thunder could beat Houston? No,
I do. I do think they could. I think the Thunder could beat anyone in the West except for Golden State, unless Golden State. Listen, if Steph turns his ankle again, if the Golden State is not at full strength, then I think the Thunder can get them. If they're both at full strength, I don't think they can.
Their biggest problem, regardless of we talking about Melo, is he just going to be a spot-up shooter now? You talked about that. It was a great point, how they made changes. Russ taking over. Man, as long as they have Roberson, they can always rest Steph on him. So as long as he's on the court, all right, they do not match up with Golden State. Golden State also has that switching defense, but Steph can mainly stay on him and rest. And Klay can slow Russ down a little bit because of his physical body. Now, to me, if something happened to Klay, they would really be hurt against OKC because Steph would have to guard Russ more.
Well, and now you see, and look, Roberson is huge for them because of the defense. But you see Ray Felton and Westbrook playing together a lot. And that frees Russ up to just do some scoring and let Felton run the offense. But that's a great point. If you can get Roberson out of there, now you can force Steph to guard
even
somebody.
In last night's game, they had Hacker Roberson. Like, he's such a bad shooter and a bad free throw shooter that they're fouling him intentionally so they can get possession of the ball.
Now, I like Jeremy Grant, too.
Where did he go to school? Sorry, go ahead, as you were.
You get him, because he's not Roberson, but he can defend, too. He's athletic. You know, you can go with a lineup, even if you have George at the 2 and Grant and Melo and Steven Adams.
Nick said, where'd he go to school?
Yeah.
Where'd he go to school?
I said it, Syracuse.
Who from Syracuse plays some dang on defense? I almost said something else.
I don't know.
Who from Syracuse plays any defense?
Because they sitting at 2-3.
Thank you. And then you get to the NBA.
Grant's he has the potential. Because he's athletic
he's athletic, so he might decide.
He could be a good defender.
But all the rest of Syracuse guys can't defend.
Nobody has ever. I can't name it.
Boeheim, that zone is killing them.
Let's put our wide vision goggles on just for a second, because we've spent more days on this show than not talking about what's wrong with this Thunder team, why it isn't working, why these three haven't found a way to work together. Now, all of a sudden, they found a way to do it. I guess that's the difference. My question is, what was it? What was the one thing they found? And tell me what the next 3 months look like. Like, what could they do now that they're at this point?
Well, first of all, when you have three guys who are used to being the first option, or 1A, as in Westbrook to Durant, their entire careers, and they're ISO players, it's going to be tough to come together.
But
like
they knew
Durant,
that when they put this team
but
together.
it's easy to say, and I think they all meant it. Russ said, I'm going to defer. I'm going to get these guys involved. Melo and George were like, we'll all fit. But your game is your game. Your game is your game.
And they didn't have a choice of going to OKC. All right? Like, it wasn't like they had their option, like they were free agents. All right? Paul George got traded.
Yeah.
All right? Melo
got traded.
Yes.
Melo okayed.
He okayed it, but yeah.
Yes, but they didn't have a choice. That's why they ended up there, to answer your question.
But Durant, you look at Golden State, or even the Boston Big Three with Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett. Those two, it worked right from the beginning, those two teams, because their games were complementary.
Ray was off the ball.
Yeah, Ray was off the ball, Paul's a slasher.
Kevin Garnett, you didn't need to run plays for him. Yes.
Yep. Durant fits into that ball movement. He's a great catch and shoot guy. So, but Miami with LeBron and Wade,
it was redundant skill sets.
Yes, and that's what this is to some degree. So, but I think going forward, look, Melo, he's in his 15th year. There's nothing he can do individually. He could average 30, and it would not change his legacy one bit. But if he averages 17 or 18, and they get to even the conference finals, or who knows, maybe the finals, or win it, that would change his legacy completely.
Yes.
And I think he recognizes that your 15th year, man, it's all about winning. Be the third option and be fine with it.
That's what LeBron says. My 15th year, I'm just going to be the third option. It's going to be amazing. Chris, stick around. Don't go anywhere. Coming up, LeBron, speaking of which, lashing out at officials. Hear from him next.